Hey everyone, Jeremy here, and I'm in my space again. But what do I do here? If you want to know, why don't you tune in to find out? Okay, so this is my voiceover space because I am a voiceover artist. Now I've heard many people, and I'll bring up my little list here. There we go. Um, I've heard many people talk about the difference between, hey, what's a voiceover artist and what's a voice actor? So this is my 2 cents, and if anybody wants to try to correct me or has a different opinion, please share it. I'm open to all of that. Okay, so here's what I think the difference is between a VO, voiceover artist, and a VA, voice actor. The huge difference is a voice actor goes into a studio and they record everything, and then they collect their paycheck, go home. And then the studio will edit everything when it comes to the audio. But a voiceover artist, we do all of that stuff at home and we do the editing ourselves. So we will record and then we'll tweak the editing of the audio to make it sound the way we want to. Add effects, background sounds, things like that. And we'll take out all the bad stuff. But we'll do that ourselves. And that's what makes us a voiceover artist, is we know the audio engineering part of it. And that's what I am. I'm a voiceover artist. I do this stuff at home. But what's entailed in all of this stuff with a voiceover artist? Are you interested in starting? Well, let's go down the list here. Things that you need. A booth is a main one. Treat your space. Because no matter how good or bad your microphone is, if your space sucks, you're going to hear it and you're going to have a hell of a time trying to get all those background sounds out. Okay, the first thing is a DAW. You'll see up here, DAW. We say DAW, Digital Audio Workstation. When you record your sound, you're going to need a program to edit that sound, to record and edit that sound, and that is a DAW. Now, I'm going to pop up a whole bunch of different types here, and you can see that there's a whole bunch here. But my preferred one that I am using right now is called Reaper. Reaper is it's one of the cheaper ones, but it's so detailed in all of its editing glory. It's got a learning curve, but it's hard to learn, but once you pick it up, it is very smooth to use. And I'm doing that now. When I started with this one right here, Audacity. And most VO people will start with Audacity. Usually people who do audiobooks, which is where I started. And I do recommend that. Learn an audiobook because there's a reason behind that. And the reason is when you start voiceover, you're going to understand that you need to get used to the sound of your own voice. You need to get over that. That's the first step of doing an audiobook and editing your own voice. That'll take care of that. Okay, so Audacity is a good one to start. It's a starter. But you're going to want to get something better, more professional. Reaper, I did. Why I didn't do Adobe Audition is because there's a subscription. Reaper, you pay $60, you have it, and that's it. One payment of $60 and you're good to go. There's lots of tutorials on YouTube for that. Okay, I'm spending too much time on DAWs. Next, equipment. Okay, here's the big one. This is my microphone. This is you'll see it up here, the Rode NT1. There was the NT1 and the NT1A. And I was kind of fickle between the two because the NT1A is a silver and I like the black, but I really like the sharpness of this microphone. And they do have both a little bit of different sound. If somebody can comment on that, what the difference is, please let me know. I don't really know, but I just liked it because it was black. But between the two, this one, I love my microphone. So I got this one. And the connection type is called an XLR. You'll see that up above between the USB and XLR. The huge difference between the two is that you need an interface for the XLR mic. There's a whole, oh God, I don't want to go too far into this video to explain that, but there's USB XLR. You can start with the USB, totally fine. Totally fine. You can start with that. And some mics have both. Like there's a mic right here, the Shure mic, and I forget the name of it right now, but I'll just pop it up here, and it has both connections. So later you can start with USB and then you can work your way to XLR if you want. Interface. An interface is very important. So the interface, I have this one right here, Scarlett Solo. That's my interface. I did some research to find out what's good for just my little personal booth. There's quite a few here. As you can see, there's a bunch of them. Like the Scarlett Solo and the other one is the ID4. I forget the name of the company, but I'll pop it up here. Give me a sec. All right. The air's dry and a little cool here, but that's okay. Okay. So now, another big part is you'll have a difference. You'll have a choice between either headphones or what's called studio speakers. I chose headphones because I want to hear things better. These are my headphones. These are the Beyerdynamic DT770 Pros, and the ohms is 80. This is the 81, 250. Some of like the Scarlett Solo interface it doesn't have the power for the 250s. So 80 is where to go. But I think these ones will be cheaper now because there's a new version out called the 700X, 700 Pro X. I really want to get my hands on that one. The reason the 700 Pro X is it's the same headphones, but it has a detachable cord. This one doesn't. And the cord that the connection that fits into the interface, it has a screw-on adapter. So don't worry about adapters. You can take that adapter, screw it off, and then plug it into your computer for when it comes time for editing. But I highly recommend these ones. This is the one I researched, and they fit over the ears, and they're so comfortable. In the cold, they feel like earmuffs, and it's just wonderful. I love these things. In the summer, they get a little warm, but they don't get too hot. That's kind of a thing people worry about, especially in a booth. Okay, so there we go. There's the headphones. I'm looking at my list here. There we go. The last thing I want to talk about is when you do voiceover, when do you call yourself a voiceover professional? And many people have talked about this. You call yourself a professional when your voice is out there. An audiobook would be a simple way to go about it. But once your voice is out there, you're a voiceover professional. Okay? Some people will argue that, say, oh, you're not a professional until you're in the business or you have your name somewhere or blah, blah, blah. If you get paid for your first job you get paid for, get your name out, get your voice out there, you are professional. How do you know you can solidify your professional, that you are a professional? All of the gear that you paid for, sorry, my voice. All the gear that you paid for, when you make up enough money that breaks even and makes more than the money you paid for your gear, then you know you've made it. That's my opinion. That's where I sit. Okay. I would love to talk about where to find voiceover work and stuff. That's a different video. This video is already getting pretty long. So that's all the information I have for you today. And just remember, when you record stuff, start doing it for fun. I know some people do it for money, but when you sit in your booth and you don't know what to record, think of something crazy and weird and then just start talking. Remember, when you have your DAW, it doesn't have a time limit. You can just hit record and just talk to yourself. That would be a good way to warm up too. Keep that in mind. I do that sometimes too, because when you're in a booth, you're talking to yourself. But I digress. Just remember, DAW, Digital Audio Workstation, research those. Start with Audacity if you can, it's free. Don't focus on your equipment until you get your space figured out. A closet with a lot of clothing will work fine. I recommend, instead of buying a booth, build your own. There is so much more pride that I feel in this booth that I have designed myself. And it's a lot cheaper. So I have nothing against people who have built their own or have bought their own booths. That's fine because they've made it. They started with their own built booths and then they worked to one that they could purchase. Eventually, I'll probably get to that point, but I'm enjoying this ride right here. This little cozy space of mine, especially in the winter, feels great. All right, everyone. So remember, mantra time. It's okay to be weird. I am too. Embrace the strange. Do your research on these topics I've talked about. and get out there and record something fun. All right, everybody. Have a happy holidays, because it is word Christmas, New Year's time. Be safe out there and really go get it. Okay, everyone. Have a great day.